The stars were silent. Commander Ryan Hale, a skilled human scout, flew alone in his small spacecraft near the edge of the galaxy. His mission was simple: explore unknown regions, find signs of alien life or technology, and report back to the Earth Exploration Command. But nothing was ever simple in deep space. A strange energy signal had appeared on his ship's sensors. It wasn't natural, it had a pattern, like a code. It was coming from a small moon orbiting a blue gas giant. Curious, Ryan changed course and headed toward it. As he entered the moon's thin atmosphere, the signal grew stronger. Then suddenly, boom. His ship shook violently. Alarms blared. Engine failure. Stabilizers offline. Ryan shouted, gripping the controls. His ship spun out of control, crashing through clouds before slamming into the rocky surface below. The cockpit cracked, but Ryan managed to survive, bruised but breathing. He opened the hatch and climbed out. The air was thin, but breathable. The sky was dark purple, and giant stone towers rose in the distance. It looked like an ancient city, abandoned long ago. Ryan grabbed his emergency pack and began walking toward the ruins. He had no idea someone or something was already watching him. Inside the ruins, Alira crouched behind a broken pillar. She had been following the signal too. As a scout from the feline-eared race called the Zerellans, she was fast, clever, and trained to detect threats. And this creature, this human, was definitely strange. She had read about humans in old records. Some believed they were extinct. Others thought they were only myths, wild, stubborn beings who once challenged the galaxy's strongest empires. Now, one stood in front of her. He was tall, with short dark hair and strange armor. But what really caught her attention was bulge on his lower body beneath his belt. Her eyes narrowed. Could it be a weapon? A hidden device? Some kind of scanner? She couldn't take chances. Silently, she drew her plasma blade and stepped forward. Ryan was examining a broken arch when he heard a sharp sound behind him. He turned. There she was. A young, beautiful alien girl with soft purple skin, long silver hair, and glowing yellow eyes. Her cat-like ears twitched as she raised a glowing blade at him. Whoa. Wait. Ryan held up his hands. But the translator device flickered. His words came out garbled. Alira shouted something back in her language, eyes wide with suspicion. Look, I'm not here to hurt anyone, Ryan said, trying again. But to her it sounded like alien noise. She pointed at his waist. Drop the weapon, she barked. What weapon? Ryan looked down, confused. Then he realized, oh no. He muttered. She thinks that's... Second later, Alira leapt toward him. Ryan dodged just in time as her blade sliced the air. He stumbled back, slipping on a loose stone. I swear it's not a weapon, he shouted, still holding his hands up. It's just human biology, the translator buzzed, trying to catch up. Alira didn't understand, swinging her blade. Ryan ducked behind a fallen wall, heart racing. He didn't want to fight, especially not over something this ridiculous. Calm down, not armed, he yelled, waving his arms. The translator finally connected and repeated his words correctly in her language. Alira froze. She blinked, blade still raised. What did you say? She asked slowly. I said I'm not armed, Ryan replied, breathing heavily. That thing you sit's just natural, part of my body. She stared at him. Then slowly her expression changed, from anger to confusion, to embarrassment. Her ears drooped. She turned bright pink. Oh, stars, she whispered. There was a long silence. They stood awkwardly for a moment, neither speaking. Finally, Ryan coughed. Can we start over? Lyra sheathed her blade and looked away. I thought you were hiding a plasma gun. Not unless it shoots awkwardness, Ryan said, half smiling. She looked back at him, unsure if he was joking. Then she chuckled a soft, short sound. I'm Alira of the Zerellan Scout Corps. Commander Ryan Hale, Earth Exploration Fleet, he said, offering a hand. She didn't shake it. What is that? Handshake. It's how humans say hello. She touched his hand lightly, then quickly pulled away. You're very warm. She said, Thanks. You're very armed. It made her laugh again. Just as things started to calm down, the ground shook. Rumble. Quake. The ruins began to collapse. Run. Ryan shouted. They both sprinted as stones fell from above. Dust filled the air. Giant beam came crashing down, blocking their path. This way. Alira shouted, pointing to a narrow passage. They dove inside just as the entrance sealed shut behind them. Coughing and covered in dust, they looked around. They were trapped in a dark underground chamber. Strange symbols glowed on the walls. Ryan pulled out a small light. Well, he said, looks like we're stuck together. Alira sighed. Wonderful. Trapped with a strange alien who thinks body parts are jokes. Ryan smiled. Trust me, this will be one for the history books. Dust hung in the air like smoke. Ryan Hale and Alira stood side by side in a dark underground room, breathing heavily. Behind them, the stone ceiling had collapsed. They were trapped. Ryan turned on his wrist light. Soft blue glow filled the chamber. Strange symbols were carved into the walls. They looked ancient, yet some of them faintly glowed, as if still alive. Alira stepped forward, brushing dust from her clothes. Well, she said, her tone dry, this is going well. Grinned. First contact and a cavern. Classic human luck. She looked at him, her expression unreadable. Is everything a joke to you? Only when I'm trapped underground with someone who tried to stab me 5 minutes ago, he replied calmly. Alira rolled her eyes but didn't argue. Should find a way out before oxygen runs low. Agreed. The two moved deeper into the chamber, their footsteps echoing on the stone floor. The air was cold and dry. Alira studied the walls as they walked. These markings, they're not Ziralan, she said. Too old, too smooth, could be precursor language. Precursor. Ryan asked. An ancient race, long gone. Some believe they built everything. Cities, stargates, weapons, even life. Ryan raised an eyebrow. It sounds like a mystery worth solving. They reached a large stone door, half buried in debris. Ryan knelt and cleared some rubble. There was a round plate at the center, like a scanner. Maybe this opens it. He placed his hand on the plate. Nothing happened. Alira stepped forward and tried, still nothing. Ryan sighed. Great. No power. No way out. Maybe there's another path, she said, pointing to a dark tunnel to the right. We should check. They entered the tunnel, walking carefully. Faint lights blinked along the walls, reacting to their movement. Ryan glanced at her. So, you ever been trapped underground before? Alira didn't look at him.
Yes.
On Korth 5, for 2 days. With a wounded pilot? What happened? He panicked, drank all the water, started yelling at shadows. Ryan raised his eyebrows. And you put him to sleep with a dart. Ryan blinked. Remind me not to panic. She looked at him now, a small smile on her face. Good idea. They walked deeper. The tunnel opened into a wide circular room. The center stood a tall structure shaped like a tower with a glowing crystal on top. What is that? Ryan asked. Alira's voice was quiet. It's a stasis pod. Very old. Still running. They approached slowly. The pod was covered in dust, but the controls were blinking softly. Ryan wiped the surface. With his sleeve, behind the glass was a skeleton. Humanoid, wearing what looked like old human armor. His heart skipped a beat. No way. He whispered, That's human. That's Earth-made armor. Alira stared. Impossible. Humans never came this far out. Ryan looked at her. Then how do you explain this? She didn't answer. Instead, she tapped a button on the console. A projection appeared in the air, flickering like an old video. A male voice spoke in an ancient human accent. This is Captain Elias Ward. Expedition Group 7. If you find this message, humanity is not dead. We survived. We adapted. We scattered among the stars. But one day, we will return. The message ended. Silence filled the room. Ryan stepped back, stunned. They were here, before us. Lyra looked thoughtful. Maybe your kind didn't disappear. Maybe they just waited. Suddenly the ground trembled again. A loud click echoed behind them. The stone door they saw earlier had opened by itself. A hallway of blue lights led beyond it. Ryan frowned. What triggered it? Alira tilted her head. Maybe the pod recognized your DNA. The precursor tech reacted to your presence. Why me? 'Cause you're human, she said simply. And maybe. Your people have been here longer than anyone thought. They followed the new passage. Carefully, the air felt different, cleaner. At the end of the hall, they reached another chamber. It was full of machines half buried in dust. But still humming softly, Ryan spotted something glowing on the far wall. A large map of the galaxy. Dozens of points lit up across it. Some blinking. Some dark. Those are star systems, Alira, said Ryan, nodded. Some of them match human colonies. But others, we've never seen. Near the bottom of the map, a symbol glowed brighter than the rest. A human-shaped icon. Is that Earth? Ryan asked. No, Alira replied slowly. That's here, this moon. Ryan's eyes widened. Then why does the system recognize me? She looked at him. Maybe your kind left more than stories. Maybe they left instructions. Suddenly, a warning alarm blared from Ryan's wrist console. He checked it quickly. Enemy ship approaching, he said. Fast, big, not friendly. Alira stepped back. You were followed? Maybe it was the signal from the vault. We must have triggered a beacon. We have to leave. Now. Ryan looked at the map. If we power this system, maybe we can send a distress call to human command. Alira nodded. Then let's move. They returned to the main vault room, activating the old machines as they went. Alira used her scout tools to boost the signal. Together, it worked quickly, like a team that had trained for years, as the machines hummed louder. Ryan activated the emergency channel. This is Commander Ryan Hale, he said. Coordinates and precursor data. Threat incoming. Quest backup. He turned to Alira. Now we wait. She gave a small smile. For a myth, you're not bad at fixing things. Ryan smiled back. For someone who thought I was armed, you're not bad company either. Shh. She laughed softly, her yellow eyes shining above them. The ancient vault glowed live once more. The lights in the vault glowed brighter now. Soft blue lines ran across the ancient walls, humming with power. Ryan and Alira stood near the main console, watching as more systems came online. Alira wiped her forehead. We did it. The beacon is active. Ryan nodded, eyes fixed on the large galactic map still glowing above them. Let's hope someone's listening. Took a breath. Something about this place felt familiar. Not in a personal way, but deeper. Like it was part of human memory. The holographic image of Captain Elias Ward reappeared in the air. The same message as before played again. But this time, something was different. A new section of the wall opened. A round device slid from the ceiling and scanned Ryan with a soft beam of light. Beep! A new message began to play. The hologram changed. A taller figure appeared, older than Elias Ward. This one wore strange armor with stars on the chest. His voice was deep and calm. To the one who bears the blood of Earth, you have found one of the last strongholds of the Starforged. Ryan and Alira stood still, listening. We were the first explorers, the first defenders, born on Earth. Spread across the stars, we challenged empires and guarded worlds that forgot our name. But when the galaxy turned dark, we hid. We waited. We built these vaults for those who would come after us. If you are watching this, then humanity has returned. The message ended. Ryan took a step back. Starforged, what is that? Lyra spoke softly. It's a legend. One our elders whisper about. A race of humans who once stood against tyrants and monsters, who couldn't be killed, who never gave up. She looked at him. He thought it was just a story. Ryan touched the wall. Maybe the story is real. They explored deeper into the vault. More chambers opened, filled with old equipment, strange symbols, and faded records. One wall displayed human DNA charts with alien symbols comparing it to other races. Ryan stared at it. They studied genetics here. Alira pointed to one symbol. This one matches my people's code. You mean your race was created or changed by humans? Possibly. Maybe your kind helped shape many species. Not just my own. Ryan shook his head. How is it that Earth doesn't know any of this? Alira looked serious. Maybe Earth was kept in the dark. For protection, they reached a long hallway where several statues stood. Not made of stone, but some metal unknown to both of them. Each statue was of a human warrior in armor, standing tall. Beneath them were names, most faded. One still glowed, Commander Solon Var, last of the Starforged. Ryan read it aloud. Solon Var. Never heard of him. Lyra stepped closer. I have. My grandmother told me about him when I was little. She said he saved her homeworld from a space storm long before I was born. That's impossible, Ryan said. If he lived that long ago, she said he looked young, strong, like time didn't touch him. Ryan frowned. Maybe the Starforged had advanced medicine, or something else. As they stood in front of the statue, a small drone floated down from the ceiling. It blinked at them and spoke in a calm, robotic voice. Biological match confirmed. Human subject, Ryan Hale, Zarellan. Subject, unknown hybrid. Welcome to Archive 9. Alira's ears twitched. Hybrid. The drone floated near her. Zarellan. DNA includes human-coded markers. It's created approximately 3,000 cycles ago. Purpose. Survival enhancement. Emotional bonding compatible. Ryan raised his eyebrows. Did that drone just say you were designed to bond with humans? Alira turned red. I don't know what that thing is talking about, Ryan grinned. So maybe we're not so different after all. She gave him a warning glare. Don't start. Suddenly, a red light flashed across the ceiling. The drone spoke again. Alert. Unknown vessel approaching. Weapons active. Time to contact. Sure Sif minutes. Ryan clenched his fists. The enemy ship is almost here. We need to leave, Alira said. If they find this vault, they'll destroy everything. Can you send the map data to my ship's beacon? Right? Ryan asked. She nodded. Yes. But we'll need to get to the surface first. The walls block signal range. Ryan looked at the statues one last time. They waited for someone to come back. We can't let them down. They rushed through the tunnels, following the lights back to the first cave. Some debris had shifted from the earlier quake. Help me move this. Right, Ryan said. Together they lifted and dragged heavy stones until a path was clear. Daylight shone through the gap. Ryan climbed out first, then helped Alira up. The sky above had changed. Dark clouds swirled in the distance. Shadow grew larger across the horizon. There it is, Ryan said. The warship. Alira adjusted. Her gear. Then we run. They sprinted across the rocky ground, toward Ryan's crashed ship. It was damaged. But its comms system still had power. Ryan connected the beacon and uploaded the vault's coordinates and data. Sending everything now, said. Alira stood watch, scanning the sky. Make your people receive that. They'll know the truth. Ryan looked up, and maybe they'll come. Just as the upload finished, a sharp sound rang through the air like a siren. A smaller scout drone from the enemy ship flew overhead. It spotted them and fired a laser blast near their feet. "They found us," Ryan shouted. Alira pulled out her plasma pistol. "Run for cover." They dove behind a rock formation as the drone circled around. Ryan aimed his flare gun and fired. Into the air. A bright red trail shot up, glowing against the dark sky. "What's that?" Alira asked. "Hope," Ryan replied. "It's a signal to any nearby human fleet." The drone charged again, weapons ready. Ryan stood up, ready to fire his sidearm. Alira joined him. Together, he smiled. Always. The alien drone's red eyes blinked sharply as it hovered just above the rocky ground. Ryan and Alira crouched behind a jagged boulder, hearts pounding. "We can't stay here," Ryan whispered. "I'll send more drones soon." Alira nodded, checking her plasma pistol. "There's only one way out back to your ship. If it still works." Ryan peered over the rock. The enemy drone circled slowly, scanning the area. Sharp sensors would detect any movement. "We need a distraction," Ryan said. "I have something." He pulled a small device from his pack, a compact flare launcher. He aimed it at a nearby ridge and fired. A bright, glowing flare shot into the sky, trailing red light. The drone turned immediately toward the flare, curious. "Now," Ryan shouted. They sprinted across the uneven ground. Using rocks and craters as cover, Alira moved swiftly, her cat-like reflexes keeping her steady. Ryan followed, breathing heavy but steady. They reached the wreck of Ryan's ship, a battered but familiar sight. Ryan quickly opened the hatch and started checking the systems. "Comms are still active, but engines are weak," he said. "We can't fly far, but maybe enough to escape the moon." Alira scanned the horizon. "They're coming more ships." Ryan frowned. "We'll have to fight our way out." The enemy scouts landed behind them, dropping armed soldiers with sleek weapons. Ryan grabbed a rifle from his pack. Alira drew her plasma blade, her eyes shining with determination. "Let's show them humans don't give up easily," Ryan said. They fought side by side, moving as a team. Alira's agility made her nearly untouchable. She sliced through attackers. With graceful strikes, Ryan's rifle roared, sending enemies back, despite the odds. They held their ground, but there were too many. A missile fired from a distant ship streaked toward them. Ryan shouted, "Watch out!" Alira reacted instantly, pushing Ryan out of the blast radius. The missile exploded nearby. Shaking the ground, Ryan looked at her surprised. "Thanks." She smiled briefly. "Don't thank me yet." With enemies closing in, Ryan worked fast to repair the ship's engines. Alira covered him. Deflecting blasts with her blade, suddenly the engines hummed to life. "We're good," Ryan shouted. They climbed inside just as enemy forces reached the crash site. Ryan took the pilot's seat. Alira settled next to him. The ship lifted off unevenly. Rocking as it gained altitude, the enemy ships gave chase, firing energy blasts. Ryan dodged and weaved through the rocky terrain. Alira pointed at a canyon. "Through there. They can't follow." Ryan aimed the ship toward the narrow canyon. The enemy ships hesitated, but followed. The canyon walls closed in tightly. Ryan navigated carefully, using every skill he had. Suddenly, the ship jolted violently. "We're hit!" Ryan shouted. Alarms. Blared smoke filled the cockpit. "Hold on," Alira yelled, gripping her seat. The ship spiraled downward, crashing into a dense jungle below. They escaped the wreck, but were stranded again. Ryan coughed. "We can't keep running like this." Alira looked around at the thick jungle, towering trees and strange plants. "This planet feels alive," she said. Ryan nodded. "We need shelter and a way to contact help." They moved cautiously through the jungle, alert for danger. As night fell, strange glowing creatures lit the forest. Alira scanned the area. "There's a ruin nearby. It might have tech or shelter." They reached the ruin's entrance sentient and covered with vines. Sighed. The air was cool and still. Ryan found an old communication console. "It's old, but maybe it still works," he said. Alira helped him clean the controls. Slowly, the system powered up. Ryan sent a distress signal with their location and the enemy's approach. "We'll wait here," Ryan said. "Hope someone gets it." Alira nodded. "We survived worse." Days passed. Ryan and Alira explored the ruin. They discovered old human technology and notes about a lost colony. Alira was amazed. "Humans were here before." Ryan smiled. "Seems like it." Their bond grew stronger. They shared stories of Earth and Xeralan culture. Trust replaced suspicion. One night, under a sky full of stars, Ryan said, "I think we're more alike than we realized." Alira smiled. "Maybe that's why we survived." Wait. Suddenly, a bright light appeared in the sky, a fleet of ships. "Help is here," Ryan said, hope rising. The human fleet landed nearby, ready to fight. Ryan and Alira prepared to face the coming battle together. Ryan and Alira stood together on the thick jungle planet, watching the human fleet settle into orbit above them. The arrival of the ships brought a wave of relief, but also a sense of urgency. The enemy forces would not wait long before making their next move. "This planet is unlike any I've seen," Ryan said, brushing dirt from his jacket. "It's wild, dangerous, but it holds secrets." Alira nodded, her sharp yellow eyes scanning the towering trees. "And it's where your people left traces of the past." They moved carefully toward an ancient ruin, half hidden beneath vines and moss. The structure was enormous, built with the same strange metal Ryan had seen in the vault. Inside the ruin, the air was thick with history. Strange consoles lined the walls, flickering faintly with residual power. M's fingers traced symbols he recognized from the vault. "This must have been a human outpost," Ryan said. "Probably a research base for the Starforged." Alira studied a cracked holo-recording device. "If we can access these logs, maybe we can learn what happened here." Together, they activated the systems. Faint holograms flickered to life, showing scenes of humans working alongside alien allies. They spoke of hope, discovery, and war. One recording stood out. A woman in old Earth armor addressed the camera. "This is Commander Lyra Han. Our colony fights to survive, but the enemy grows stronger. We will hold the line for Earth and the future." Ryan felt a chill. This was a story he had never heard. A lost colony, fighting to protect the galaxy and themselves. Suddenly, the ruin shook. Sighed. The enemy forces were approaching fast. "We have to warn the fleet," Ryan said, pulling out his communicator. Alira nodded. "I'll cover you." They fought their way to a secure uplink tower where Ryan sent a detailed warning. Moments later, the fleet responded with reinforcements. The battle was fierce. Energy blasts lit the jungle as the humans and their new allies fought side by side. Alira's skills in close combat saved Ryan more than once, while Ryan's strategy kept them ahead. Amid the chaos, Ryan found a hidden chamber deep in the ruin. Inside, he discovered a room filled with old weapons and advanced technology artifacts of the Starforged. "This is the key," he said, holding up a small device. "If we can use this, we can turn the tide." Together, Ryan and Alira activated the device. A powerful energy shield surrounded their forces, blocking enemy attacks. With renewed strength, humans and Xeralons pushed back the invaders. The enemy ships retreated into the stars, defeated for now. Exhausted but victorious, Ryan looked at Alira. "We did it." Together, she smiled, her yellow eyes shining. "This is only the beginning." The humans set up a new base on the planet, studying the ruins and planning their next move. Ryan was appointed leader of the Joint Humans-Xeralan Task Force. Tasked with protecting the galaxy and uncovering lost human history, Alira accepted a role as a diplomat and warrior, bridging the gap between her people and humanity. As the sun set over the jungle, Ryan stood with Alira. Looking up at the stars, the galaxy was vast and dangerous. But now, humanity had returned, and this time, they were ready. The stars twinkled softly above the jungle planet, casting a gentle light over the new human Xeralan base. The hum of engines and quiet chatter filled the air. After weeks of fierce fighting and hard work, peace was slowly returning, Commander. Ryan Hale stood at the command center's window, watching the fleet's ships orbit the planet. The long-awaited reinforcements had arrived, bringing hope not only for survival, but for a new beginning. Beside him, Alira adjusted her uniform, the symbol of the Zeralon Scouts shining proudly on her chest. She looked out with him, sharing the weight of the moment. "The galaxy is watching," Ryan said softly. "They see humanity back from the shadows." Alira nodded. "Not just back, they see us as allies, as protectors." Ryan turned to her. "You've done more than survive. You helped me show the truth about humanity," she smiled. "I thought you were armed, but now I see you were always more dangerous because of your spirit." Ryan laughed. "I'll take that as a compliment." The joint task force had grown. Quickly, humans and Zerellans worked side by side, training new recruits, repairing ancient technology, and preparing for the challenges ahead. The archives they uncovered told stories long forgotten about the Starforged, the ancient human warriors, who once defended countless worlds. These stories inspired a new generation, uniting species in hope and courage. One evening, during a ceremony to honor those who had fallen, Ryan stood before a crowd of diverse faces: humans, Zeralons, and many others. "We are not just survivors," he said. "We are the return of humanity. The proof that no matter how dark the galaxy becomes, we never give up. We adapt. We fight. We build." The crowd cheered, their voices echoing through the open air. But even in victory, danger remained. Reports arrived of other hostile factions moving closer to human space. Ryan knew the peace they had won was fragile. "We must be ready," told Alira as they stood on the base's balcony. She nodded. "Together, we will face whatever comes." Suddenly, a communication alert sounded. Ryan opened the message. It was from Earth Command, Commander Hale. The message began, "Your discoveries have changed everything. Earth prepares to rejoin the Galactic Council. Your actions have paved the way." Ryan's heart swelled. This was the moment they had hoped for, the official return of humanity to the stars. He turned to Alira. "We did it." She smiled warmly. "Yes, and now the real journey begins." In the weeks that followed, ships from Earth arrived in force. Diplomats, scientists, and soldiers came to join the alliance. Alira was appointed as a special envoy. Bridging cultures and fostering trust, Ryan led the task force, pushing to explore forgotten worlds, protect the weak, and rebuild human influence. The galaxy watched as humans rose again, not as myths, but as leaders. Under the endless sky, Ryan and Alira stood together one last time before a new mission. "Where to next?" Ryan asked. Alira smiled, her eyes bright. "Wherever humanity and its friends need us." Ryan nodded. "Then let's go." With that, they stepped aboard their ship, ready to face the stars. The galaxy was vast and full of dangers, but with humans back. There was also hope, because humanity never forgets the stars.